Custody is an interesting issue nowadays because it's changed so much over the last century. There was a period of time when fathers always got custody, and then there was a period of time where the courts looked at what they called the tender years doctrine, and so if you were a young child, you always went with the mother. And then it kind of went into mother was a stay in the 50s and 60s and maybe the 70s. Mother was a stay-at-home parent, and so stability was important, so mother got custody. And then we have what we have today, which is a much lower percentage of women or men even staying home, taking care of children, so both parties working outside the home. And caretaking has evolved so that many men expect to be part of child caretaking. They don't look at it as an option or a burden. It's something they look forward to doing. And so probably in the last 20 years, there's been a lot of discussion about joint custody. And even in Minnesota, we had very few judges that would award joint custody, the theory being that if they were in a divorce and couldn't get along, they couldn't get along raising their children. But over the years, that's changed, and now the custody labels of sole physical custody, which used to be very important for both monetary and control reasons, doesn't have really any impact anymore. People still have an emotional attachment to the term sole physical custody, but it's not particularly meaningful. So what we see nowadays is we don't even talk about visitation anymore. It's parenting time. And either parent is going to have a certain amount of parenting time. So what you often see is joint legal custody, and that's assuming that the parties get along well enough to make decisions and that there are no mental health or drug issues. Then most people get joint legal custody, and they have to make decisions together on health, education, and religious training. And then the physical custody idea is gone. We look at where the kids are going to have a primary home, but again, it's parenting time. And the old parenting time of every other weekend and one evening a week for dinner doesn't work for very many people anymore, because both parents want to be more involved and nobody wants to be a visitor. But then you add that to the cultural changes of all the activities and after school activities, sports activities that children are doing, and you have three competing interests: mom's time, dad's time, and what the kids consider their time, their friends, their after school activities, their sports commitments. And it gets more and more complicated as the kids get older and get involved in more and more activities. So if people are looking out for what's best for their kids, flexibility is the goal. And whatever parenting arrangement you enter into today is probably not going to be the parenting arrangement that you're going to have in 3 or 4 years, because every developmental stage for a child, they have different needs, different activity issues, different attachments to same-sex parents. So people need to be flexible and reasonable. The worst thing they can do is put their kids in the middle. And unfortunately, we still see a lot of that in divorce cases.